Bro, let's start with Group A, where host nation Germany is matched up with Switzerland, Scotland, and Hungary. How do we want to start this, bro? I'm eager to get a lot of these takes out, but do we want to start with a really hot take that I have brewing up, or should we go into it? Should we ease into this conversation, bro? Should we? Tell me what to do here, man.
Dude, I want to start with Germany. We have to, bro.
Okay.
Hosts of the Euros. And just fun little facts here. This is actually Germany's first time hosting the Euros since they reunified the West and the Eastern portions of the country. Obviously, they hosted the 2006 World Cup as a reunified Germany, but beyond that, they had games in Munich at last time out's European Euros, and then West Germany hosted back in the 80s. So honestly, this is a really special moment for the entire country of Germany, as there will be games played in East Germany hosting the Euros. I'm really excited about that.
What is it, 18 years since the 2006 FIFA World Cup, a tournament that I thought they did an incredible job hosting. I'm excited to see a final at Olympiastadion once again, one of my favorite stadiums in world football. Germany arrives into this tournament ranked 16th in FIFA's rankings, coached by the one and only Julian Nagelsmann. Which version of Germany will show up, bro? That's my biggest question going into this team, because we've seen them go through some very high highs and some very interesting low lows. You have the return of Toni Kroos as he's looking to close out his career here at home for this tournament. And then you have a jam-packed squad, bro, with so many names. Kimmich, Gundogan, Musiala, Toni Kroos, Füllkrug, Florian Wirtz, Rudiger, Sané, Müller, just to name a few. This team is stacked, bro. And at their best, they could be a contender for the title.
I asked myself the exact same question. Which version of Germany are we ultimately going to see? If you look at last year's Germany results, it's horrendous, bro. They lost 5 of those 9 games in 2023. They only won 2 of them. They were in absolute shambles. And when you look at all of their past performances since they won it in 2014, Germany really haven't showed up, bro.
Major tournaments?
Major tournaments,
man.
It's been atrocious. Dude, it's been worse than Mexico. Their transitionary phase from that golden generation.
I gotta bring them up, bro.
I'm trying to relate to the American people here. And if it's been bad for Mexico, bro, it's been actually worse for Germany. Seriously, because 2 group stage exits at the last 2 World Cups. Group stage exits. We're talking about one of the most storied, most glorified teams in international football. They can't get out of the fucking group stage. Man. It's kind of pathetic when you really think about it. Now, obviously, if you've been watching, you shouldn't be too surprised by that. And then the last time out Euros, they had a measly round of 16 exit. So Germany have severely underwhelmed for the last 8 years. And it's just so non-German of them to actually do that. But here's what's crazy, man. March happened. March 2024, and all of a sudden, Germany's energies are completely different, man.
That's what they're trying to tell me. That's what they're trying to tell me.
And the thing is, I think I kind of believe it, but you know why?
Buying in?
I think I'm buying in. Here's why. I think in those friendlies that happened 2 months ago, the German team realized one thing, that they're going to be hosts of the Euros. And they looked around the camp and they're like, oh, we have some of the best players in the world. We can't and we're not going to miss this opportunity.
Like a reality check.
It was a reality check.
They woke up.
Then Julian Nagelsmann also makes that same realization. He's like, I'm a good coach. I have some of the best players at my disposal. Let's play fluid football. Let's bring Toni Kroos, a Real Madrid legend who just won the Champions League. Let's bring him back into the fray. Everyone else is in such good form realistically at club level.
Amazing.
It'd be so dramatic and disastrous if Germany don't have a good Euros. I think they've realized what is at stake, and I do believe that they're ultimately going to show up.
They're contenders. They're contenders. I cannot deny that, and I don't think many people can, because you look at the names, it truly is contender worthy.
Yeah.
I want to pose this question to the audience. Which version of Germany do you think will show up? I want to know what you guys think and get you guys involved in this conversation. I agree, though. The past recent results that we've seen from them have been really impressive, and the host factor is the biggest one. Given that it's a continental tournament, we just saw Qatar host the AFC Asian Cup and win it, and we just saw Ivory Coast, bro. Ivory Coast lift the the AFCON to win it as they hosted the tournament as well. I mean, it's in the works, bro, for Germany, and you could say the USA, but Germany for sure looking to do something special in their home country. I do want to mention a few players that didn't get included in the squad. It's something that I'm going to do throughout the preview is for the big teams, since they're so deep, I think it's interesting to bring up players that got excluded and kind of decide which of these players would have had an impact or if Nagelsmann was right to keep them out of the squad. You have Goretzka not making the team, Mats Hummels, Julian Brandt, Adeyemi, and then Stefan Ortega as the biggest omissions. Are any of those guys big misses?
I think the one that really surprised me just because of the name and what he's done over the last 3 years at Bayern Munich is Leon Goretzka. That one really shocked me. Because I thought he would have at least gotten called up. Maybe not even play or start, but be in rotation. He didn't have the best year. He actually got benched in that second leg against Real Madrid, and the youngster Pavlovic ended up getting the call up in that starting midfield position. And I think that just kind of shows where Goretzka is right now in this moment. He's not playing his best football, but it just... Honestly, it's pretty depressing for him specifically when you think about it, bro, because imagine you're in your physical prime. You're playing for one of the best clubs in the world at Bayern Munich. You've won the Champions League with him, and you miss out on the opportunity to represent your country in your own nation. Yeah. That's crazy,
it's on him, though,
man.
Bro. It's on him.
It is.
I think he didn't live up to, I think, what's expected to him, given the trajectory he was on when he was really young. I remember he's not a disappointment, but I mean, I can see why Nagelsmann would ultimately opt to not have him in the squad.
It's just, it gets even more sad though, because he launched like a social media campaign before Nagelsmann chose the German squad. And he was like, hey, I really love Germany, basically. Like, I've been playing good football. I would love to represent Germany at this year's Euros. He like tweeted that essentially. Yeah. And then Nagelsmann, like 2 days later, nowhere on the list is Goretzka. That's crazy, man.
And low key, if you want to continue on with that trend, Dortmund got fucked.
Yeah.
Dortmund got fucked. And not just with Germany. Sancho didn't get picked for England either. So no Sancho, no Julian Brandt, no Hummels, and no Adeyemi. Players that were playing in the Champions League final just a few days ago won't be playing in the biggest tournament of the summer here in the Euros, bro. Yeah. That's surprising to me.
It is surprising when you look at the starting 11, though, and I think this is where we can sort of get into it. It kind of makes sense that a lot of the Dortmund players didn't get picked. No Hummels kind of makes sense because if you look at the starting center backs for Germany, it's going to be Antonio Rudiger, right? Real Madrid, 100%. UEFA Champions League winner, and probably Jonathan Tah right alongside him, who's probably going to go to Bayern Munich over the summer. Just had an insane season with Bayer Leverkusen. Those are two insanely good center backs for Germany. And I just don't really think you need Hummels. Even though he was really good in the Champions League this year, he realistically just wouldn't play. You have Schlotterbeck in the ranks to come on for either an injured Rudiger or Jonathan Tah. So I think, honestly, the center back position, you just don't need Hummels. And then for Julian Brandt, I think the players that Nagelsmann is bringing and the type of offensive football he wants to play, I don't know if Brandt really has a place in this German team, bro.
He's been looking for one for a long time, and he really hasn't found it, dude, with the national team. And I think there's better offensive players that do what he does, like Florian Wirtz, for example, that are going to get the call up instead.
Exactly. When you look at this offensive shape that Nagelsmann likes to play, he might have one of the more fluid offenses here in Europe. You could play Leroy Sané on one side, Jamal Musiala on the other, and that's just insane directness, really good dribble penetration from either side. It'll give you a really good cutting edge going forward. And then a guy like Musiala, he likes to cut inside, and you could have Leroy Sané just hug that touchline and be an out-and-out winger. Or you could play Florian Wirtz in one of those positions, and he'll definitely cut inside more often than not and be more of a creative type of midfielder, winger, hybrid player. So there's such fluidity that Nagelsmann could use in this offensive lineup. I don't think it really works if you try to play a traditional number 10 like Julian Brandt.
Yeah, the talent is ridiculous. Germany reminds me a lot of Argentina prior to the 2022 FIFA World Cup, where you look down the list, it's just amazing player after amazing player. But I do think a lot of this run for Germany is going to come down to Nagelsmann and how he manages the team, the spirits of the players. The names are there to win a title, but I think he has to emulate Scaloni in a way and find the right solution, play the players that are best in form and that have the best chemistry together to ultimately thrive. Because I think that's what's holding Germany back, is that there's this, whether it's a mental aspect, whether it's a dynamic dynamic aspect. They have the players to win big trophies and not get grouped the way they did at the World Cup these past 2 times. So they shouldn't. But I just get scared that maybe they get in their heads again. And I hope Nagelsmann ends up being the pivotal point, the guy that keeps them from that happening.
Yes. Nagelsmann has so many choices to make, but like you said, and dude, this is such a good point actually. He could pull a Scaloni here and change the team as the tournament goes and eventually find the best form for them going into a late knockout stage run.
I think we're going to see that.
I think so. Because, I mean, look at the striker position. He could go with a traditional line in Füllkrug, who's been fantastic this year, or he could go with a false nine in Kai Havertz, who has been honestly pretty decent in that position for Arsenal this entire season. So there's an option there. And left back, he could either go David Raum, he could go Mittelstadt, who went off for Stuttgart this season, or he could go with RB Leipzig's Benjamin Henrichs. There's not a starting left back that has made their name for Germany quite yet, so that spot's wide open too. If Nagelsmann gets these positions right, I think he could build a really effective Germany team.
What's the expectation? Where should they go? Where should they land? I think it's quarterfinals minimum.
Yeah,
minimum, bro.
I'm going to put a little bit more pressure. I'm going to say semis minimum. They have to ride this host energy wave, bro. Oof. And you already kind of mentioned it. If anyone saw Ivory Coast run this January, it was all host energy. Yeah. They had a poor group stage, but they got lucky to get in the knockout stage. But after that, they were completely dominant. But it's because they were riding that wave of being hosts, of having the crowd, 100% of the crowd right behind them in every match. Germany's going to get that. And then to boot, they have some of the best players in the world. Dude, we haven't even mentioned İlkay Gundogan, who's going to play right underneath Germany's insanely good offensive 3. Gundogan's the perfect guy. He's box to box. He can do the defensive things, but obviously we've seen it at Barcelona and Manchester City. He's so good when he gets involved offensively, either off the pass or genuinely in front of goal. He's so deadly. That's what Germany have. You have Toni Kroos to kind of send the tempo
Uncle
as
Tony's
well.
Back.
Exactly. And then this will be Manuel Neuer's last year's. It has to be. It has to
be. You won't let it go any further?
We can't, bro. He's what, 38?
He's old, dude.
37, something like that?
Yeah, this might have to be it for him. So, yeah, you have the narrative of Neuer and Kroos playing their last tournament, major tournament for the German national team. I mean, it'd be beautiful to see them go out on top in the classic German way at home. I agree, dude. This talent, the roster is so stacked. I'm saying if they find their momentum, if they find that perfect 11, they could be champions. They really, really could.